Hey plant fam, welcome back to The Sprout. Today we're talking about one of the most dramatic and sought-after plants in the world, Alocasia. You might know it as African mask plant or elephant ear, or by its stunning varieties like poly, amazonica, or dragon scale. Those large, arrow-shaped leaves with bold white veins look like they belong in a modern art museum. They're exotic, they're architectural, and they're absolutely captivating. But here's the thing, Alocasias have a reputation for being fussy. People buy them, bring them home, and within a few weeks, the leaves turn yellow, droop, and the plant seems to give up. Sound familiar? The good news is that Alocasias are not as difficult as people think. They just have specific needs. They're not a plant you can ignore, but if you give them what they want, they will reward you with incredible growth. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We put out new plant care videos every week, and I don't want you to miss the next one. Also, drop a comment below. Do you have an Alocasia? Which variety? Have you struggled with it? I'd love to hear about it. Now, let's get into it. First, let's talk about what makes Alocasia special. Alocasia is a genus of about 70 species of tropical plants native to Southeast Asia and Eastern Australia. They grow on the forest floor, under the canopy of taller trees. They get bright, filtered light, high humidity, and consistent moisture. Their large leaves are designed to capture as much light as possible in the dim understory. The leaves are also sensitive. They show stress quickly. That's why Alocasias are sometimes called divas, but really they're just honest. They tell you exactly when something is wrong. Now let's talk about the different varieties. Alocasia poly is the most common. It has dark green, highly textured leaves with silver white veins. It's compact, growing about 1 to 2 feet tall. Alocasia amazonica is very similar to poly, but slightly larger. Alocasia dragon scale has silvery green leaves that look like dragon scales. Alocasia black velvet has almost black velvety leaves with white veins. It's stunning. Alocasia silver dragon has pale silver leaves with dark green veins. Alocasia cuprea has metallic coppery red leaves that shimmer. And Alocasia stingray has unique leaves that look like stingrays with a long tail at the tip. All of them are beautiful, and their care is very similar. Now let's start with light. Alocasia needs bright, indirect light. In its natural habitat, it gets dappled sunlight under trees. An east or north-facing window is perfect. A few feet back from a south or west window also works well. Direct sun will burn the leaves, causing yellow or brown patches. Too little light and the plant will get leggy. The stems will stretch toward the light. The leaves will be smaller and less vibrant. The plant may drop leaves. So find that sweet spot. Bright, indirect light is the goal.
Now let's talk about temperature. Alocasia is a tropical plant. It needs warmth. Keep it between 65 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It can handle down to 60 degrees, but growth will slow. Below 55 degrees, the plant will suffer damage. Alocasia will often go dormant in cool conditions. Keep it away from cold drafts, air conditioning vents, and cold windowsills in winter. Sudden temperature changes can cause leaf drop. Now let's talk about humidity. This is critical. Alocasia needs high humidity. It needs humidity levels between 60 and 80%. In most homes, especially in winter with the heater running, the air is much drier. The signs of low humidity are brown leaf edges, leaves curling, and leaves that don't unfurl properly. To increase humidity, use a humidifier near the plant. This is the most effective method. Group it with other plants. They create their own little humid microclimate. Set the pot on a pebble tray filled with water. Do not mist Alocasia. Misting doesn't raise humidity enough, and water sitting on the leaves can cause fungal spots. Now let's talk about watering. Alocasia likes consistently moist soil, but it does not like to sit in water. Overwatering is a common killer. Here's my rule. Water when the top inch of soil feels dry. Stick your finger in the soil. If it's dry at your first knuckle, it's time to water. In most homes, that means watering about once a week in spring and summer, and every 10 to 14 days in fall and winter. Always check the soil first. When you water, do it thoroughly until water runs out of the drainage holes. Empty the saucer. Never let your alocasia sit in standing water. Use room temperature water. Cold water can shock the roots, and if possible, use filtered or rainwater. Alocasia is sensitive to chlorine and fluoride in tap water. Now, let's talk about soil. Alocasia needs well-draining, chunky, airy soil. Regular potting mix is too dense. Here's my recipe. Take 2 parts standard indoor potting mix, 1 part perlite, and 1 part orchid bark or cocoa core. This creates a light mix that holds some moisture but drains quickly and lets air reach the roots. The pot must have drainage holes. Terracotta pots work well because they breathe. Plastic pots work too, but be more careful with watering. Now let's talk about fertilizing. Alocasia is a fast grower in good conditions. It needs fuel. During spring and summer, feed it once a month with a balanced liquid fertilizer like 10-10-10 or 20-20-20, diluted to half strength. Do not fertilize in fall and winter. If you see brown leaf edges, you may be over-fertilizing. Flush the soil with plain water. Now, let's talk about dormancy. This surprises many alocasia owners. In fall and winter, with shorter days and cooler temperatures, alocasia may go dormant. It will stop growing. It may drop all its leaves. It looks dead, but it's not. It's just sleeping. The corm, the underground stem, is still alive. If your alocasia drops all its leaves in winter, don't throw it away. Reduce watering. Keep it in a cool, bright spot. In spring, when temperatures warm and days get longer, it will sprout new leaves. This is normal. If you want to prevent dormancy, keep your alocasia warm and give it supplemental light in winter.
Now let's talk about common problems. Let's go through them one by one. Problem 1. Yellow leaves. Can be overwatering, underwatering, or natural aging. Check the soil. If it's soggy, water less. If it's bone dry, water more. Alocasia naturally drops its oldest leaves as it grows new ones. If only the bottom leaves are yellowing, that's normal. Problem 2. Brown leaf edges or tips. Low humidity or chemicals in tap water. Increase humidity with a humidifier. Switch to filtered or rainwater. Problem 3. Leaves curling. Underwatering or low humidity. Water deeply, increase humidity. Problem 4. Drooping leaves. Thirst or root rot. Check the soil. If it's dry, water. If it's wet, you may have root rot. Problem 5. Leaves not unfurling. Low humidity. The leaf is stuck. Increase humidity. You can gently help it unfurl with your fingers, but be very careful. Problem 6. Pests. Alocasia is prone to spider mites, mealybugs, and thrips. Spider mites leave fine webbing. They love dry conditions. Increase humidity, use neem oil. Mealybugs look like white cotton. Wipe with rubbing alcohol. Thrips leave silvery scars. Use insecticidal soap. Root rot, caused by overwatering or poor drainage. Signs are yellow leaves, mushy stems, and a bad smell from the soil. Take the plant out of the pot, cut away rotten roots, repot in fresh, dry soil. Water less. Plant has gone completely dormant. All leaves dropped. Don't panic. Reduce watering, keep it in a cool, bright spot. In spring, it should come back. If the corm is still firm, it's alive. Here's where you come in. Drop a comment below. Do you have an alocasia? Which variety? Have you dealt with dormancy? I'd love to know. Now let's talk about repotting. Alocasia needs repotting every 1 to 2 years in spring. Go up 1 pot size. Use fresh, chunky soil mix. When you repot, you may find small corms, baby bulbs in the soil. You can plant them to grow new alocasias.
Now let's talk about propagation. Alocasia is easy to propagate by division. When you repot, look for offsets, small plants attached to the main corm. Gently separate them with clean hands or a knife. Each offset needs its own roots. Plant them in small pots with fresh soil. Keep them warm and humid. They'll take off in a few weeks. You can also plant the corms you find in the soil. Put them in a small pot with moist perlite or sphagnum moss. Cover with a plastic bag to create humidity. In a few months, they'll sprout. Now let's talk about cleaning leaves. Alocasia leaves are large and glossy, but they collect dust. Dust blocks light. Wipe the leaves with a damp cloth once a month. Don't use leaf shine sprays. They clog the pores of the leaves. Let me give you a few quick answers to common questions. How big do alocasias get indoors? Depending on the variety, 1 to 4 feet tall. Poly stays small. Some species can get much larger, but are less common indoors. Are alocasias toxic to pets? Yes. Alocasia contains calcium oxalate crystals, which are toxic to cats and dogs. Keep them out of reach. Why is my alocasia dripping water from the leaves? That's transpiration. It's normal. The plant is releasing excess water. Can I put my alocasia outside in summer? Yes, in bright shade. No direct sun. Bring it back inside before temperatures drop below 60 degrees. Let's wrap everything up. Alocasia is a stunning, dramatic houseplant. Give it bright, indirect light. Keep it warm, above 60 degrees. Provide high humidity, 60 to 80%. Water when the top inch of soil is dry. Use chunky, well-draining soil. Fertilize monthly in spring and summer. Don't panic if it drops leaves in winter. That's dormancy. Propagate by division when you repot. Watch for spider mites and root rot. Here's the most important thing to remember. Alocasia is not a plant for neglect. It needs consistent care, but it's also not as hard as people think. The 3 big things are light, humidity, and water. Give it bright, indirect light. Give it high humidity, use a humidifier. Water when the top inch of soil is dry. Get those 3 things right, and your alocasia will thrive. Before you go, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave me a comment. Are you going to try an alocasia? What variety are you most excited about? I'd love to know. Also, what plant should I cover next? Calathea? Anthurium? Begonia? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Take care of your plants, and they'll take care of you. See you in the next video.